The New Horizon approached the alien fleet slowly. Jake had never seen anything like it in his life. The 12 ships hung in space like giant metal cities. Each one was covered in smooth curves and strange symbols that glowed with soft blue light. Even the smallest ship was huge compared to his cargo vessel. "Danny, take us nice and easy," Jake said. "We don't want to scare them." "Roger that, Captain. They're sending us docking instructions now." Amy looked up from her radio. "Captain, Commander, Taylor wants to meet with us on their main ship. She says they've prepared a docking bay that can fit our ship." Jake nodded. He was nervous but tried not to show it. His crew was watching him, and they needed to see that their captain was confident. The main alien ship was massive. As they got closer, Jake could see that parts of the hull were damaged. Dark scorch marks covered several sections, and some areas were missing pieces completely. The solar storm had hurt them badly. Danny guided the New Horizon into a large opening in the side of the alien ship. The docking bay was enormous, easily big enough to hold 20 ships their size. Strange lights lined the walls, and Jake could see alien figures moving around in the distance. "The air in here is breathable," Lisa reported, checking her instruments. "Temperature and oxygen levels are close to what we're used to." "Good," Jake said. "Amy, bring your medical kit. Lisa, pack some tools. Danny, stay with the ship and keep the engines ready." "Shouldn't I come with you?" Danny asked. "I need someone here in case we have to leave quickly," Jake explained. "Keep the radio open so you can hear everything." Jake, Lisa, and Amy put on their spacesuits just to be safe. They had no idea what the aliens looked like or if they carried diseases that could hurt humans. Better to be careful. They opened the airlock and stepped into the alien ship. The first thing Jake noticed was how clean everything was. The walls seemed to be made of some kind of white metal that glowed with its own light. The floor felt smooth. Under their boots, a group of aliens was waiting for them. Jake stopped walking and stared. The Zephyrians looked almost human, but not quite. They were taller than most people, with long arms and legs. Their skin was pale blue, and their eyes were larger than human eyes. They had no hair, but strange markings covered their heads in patterns. The alien in front stepped forward. She wore what looked like a uniform with symbols on the chest. When she spoke, her voice was the same one they had heard on the radio. "Captain Morrison, I am Commander Vex Taylor. Thank you for coming to help us." Jake removed his helmet so she could see his face. "This is my engineer Lisa Park and our medic Amy Carter. We're here to help however we can." Commander Taylor looked surprised. "You are all so young, and your ship is much smaller than we expected." "We're not a rescue ship," Jake admitted. "We usually just carry cargo, but we couldn't leave you here to die." The alien commander's large eyes seemed to get even bigger. "Your people would risk their own lives for strangers?" "This is not what our studies of human behavior predicted." Lisa stepped forward. "What exactly is wrong with your ships?" Commander Taylor led them through long corridors filled with aliens. Most of them looked sick. Some were lying on beds along the walls, while others sat on the floor looking weak and tired. "Our quantum drive cores create a field that protects us from radiation," the commander explained. "When the solar storm hit, the cores were damaged. Now the protective field is failing, and deadly radiation is getting into our ships." Amy knelt next to one of the sick aliens. "How long have they been like this?" "The sickness began 2 days ago. Our medical equipment says they have radiation poisoning." Amy opened her medical kit and took out a small device. She held it near the sick alien and watched the readings. "The radiation levels are dangerous but not immediately fatal. How much time do we have?" "Our doctors believe we have perhaps 2 more days before people begin to die." Lisa looked at the alien technology around them. Everything was smooth and perfect with no visible wires or mechanical parts. "Can you show me the damaged quantum cores?" Commander Taylor led them deeper into the ship. The engine room was huge, filled with machines that hummed with power. In the center was a large crystal that flickered with weak light. "This is one of our quantum cores," the commander said. The storm overloaded the systems and cracked the crystal matrix. Lisa stared at the alien technology. It was far more advanced than anything humans had built. But as she looked closer, she began to understand the problem. "What materials do you use for radiation shielding?" she asked. "We use quantum field generators. They create a barrier that radiation cannot pass through." "But what about basic physical shielding? Metal barriers?" Commander Taylor looked confused. "Metal? That is a very primitive method. It would be too heavy and inefficient." Lisa smiled. "Maybe, but it works. What if I told you we could fix your shielding problem using materials we have on our ship?" "That would be impossible. Your technology is centuries behind ours." "Sometimes simple solutions work better than complicated ones," Lisa said. "Amy, what kind of medical equipment do we have in our cargo?" Amy thought for a moment. "We have surgical, tools, diagnostic machines, and some older equipment made of steel and iron. Why? Because I think our primitive materials might be exactly what these people need." Jake looked at Lisa. "What are you thinking?" "The aliens are using advanced technology that failed when something unexpected happened. But humans have been dealing with radiation for hundreds of years. We use heavy metal shielding because it works, even if it's not pretty." Commander Taylor shook her head. "Simple metal cannot provide the protection we need." "Maybe not the same kind of protection," Lisa said, "but it might be enough to keep your people alive until we can find a better solution." They returned to the New Horizon where Danny was waiting anxiously. "How did it go? What do the aliens look like?" "They look almost human," Jake said, "and they're dying because their fancy technology broke down." Lisa went straight to the cargo hold and began examining their supplies. Most of the medical equipment was new, made of lightweight materials, but some of the older machines were made of steel and iron. "This equipment is being replaced by newer models," she explained to the others. "The colonies don't want it because it's heavy and old-fashioned. But look at this." She pointed to some of the older machines. "These have been sitting in our cargo hold for months. Some of them are starting to rust." "Rust is bad, isn't it?" Amy asked. "Not always," Lisa said with a grin. "Rust is iron oxide mixed with other compounds, and I think that's exactly what we need." She explained her idea to the others. The aliens needed a barrier between their people and the radiation. Their quantum shields had failed, but simple metal barriers might work well enough to buy them time. "We can use the steel from our old medical equipment," Lisa said. "We can also use the iron patches from our hull repair kit. If we mix the rust with silicon compounds from our ship's systems, we might be able to create a shielding material the aliens can use." Jake looked at his crew. "You're saying we can save 50,000 aliens using rusty medical equipment and hull patches?" "It's worth trying," Lisa said. "The worst thing that happens is it doesn't work and we're back where we started." Amy was already gathering medical supplies. "I'll also look at their sick people. Maybe our simple human medicine can help where their advanced treatments failed." "All right," Jake said. "Let's go show these aliens what human determination can do." When they returned to the alien ship with their supplies, Commander Taylor looked at the rusty metal with obvious doubt. "You believe this crude material can save, my people?" "Trust us," Jake said. "Sometimes the old ways work better than new ones." Lisa began explaining her plan to the alien engineers. At first they argued that such primitive methods would never work, but as Lisa showed them the calculations and explained the science, they began to understand. "Your people have survived for thousands of years using these methods?" one alien engineer asked. "We've been dealing with radiation since we first split the atom," Lisa said. "We learned to protect ourselves with whatever materials we had." Slowly, the aliens began to see that human methods might actually work. They had become so dependent on perfect technology that they had forgotten how to solve problems with simple tools. Working together, humans and aliens began building radiation shields from rusty steel and silicon compounds. It was not pretty, and it was not perfect, but it might be enough to keep the Zephyrian people alive. The work had been going well for 6 hours. Lisa and the alien engineers were busy installing the makeshift radiation shields throughout the Zephyrian ships. The rusty steel and silicon mixture was working better than anyone had expected. The radiation levels were dropping, and the sick aliens were starting to feel better. Amy had been working with the alien doctors teaching them simple human medical treatments. She discovered that basic saltwater solutions helped the radiation sickness more than the complex alien medicines. The alien doctors were amazed that such simple treatments could be so effective. Jake was in the command center of the main alien ship, learning about their technology. Commander Vex Taylor was showing him their long-range sensors when suddenly alarms began ringing throughout the ship. "What's happening?" Jake asked. Commander Taylor's face went pale. Her large eyes filled with fear as she looked at the sensor readings. 12 ships approaching fast, military formation, it's them. "Who?" Jake demanded. "The Corvin Empire. They found us." On the main screen, Jake could see 12 dark ships moving toward them. These ships looked nothing like the beautiful Zephyrian vessels. The Corvin ships were black and angular, covered with weapon, ports and armor plating. They looked like they were built for one purpose only: war. "Amy, Lisa, get back to our ship now," Jake said into his radio. "We have company coming." Commander Taylor was giving orders to her crew in the alien language. Jake could hear the fear in their voices even though he couldn't understand the words. "Commander, what do these Corvins want?" "They want us dead," she said simply. "The Corvins destroyed our homeworld. We are the survivors, the ones who escaped. They have been hunting us across the galaxy." Jake felt cold. "How many people are we talking about?" "Each Corvin ship carries about 2,000 soldiers. Their weapons are designed specifically to fight our technology. Our damaged ships cannot defend against them." The communication system crackled to life. A harsh voice filled the air, speaking in heavily accented English. "This is Commander Drac Voss of the Corvin Imperial Fleet. We have come for the Zephyrian war criminals. Surrender them to us and you will be allowed to leave." Jake looked at Commander Taller. "War criminals?" "The Corvins call us criminals because we refuse to surrender our planet to them," she said bitterly. "We fought back when they tried to enslave our people." The Corvin voice continued. "Human vessel, you have 1 hour to abandon the Zephyrian ships. Any humans found helping these criminals will be destroyed along with them." Jake grabbed the microphone. "This is Captain Morrison of the cargo ship New Horizon. These people are refugees, not criminals. We're not abandoning them." There was silence for a moment. Then harsh laughter came through the speakers. "A cargo ship captain thinks he can challenge the Corvin Empire. Your primitive vessel is not even worth our ammunition. Leave now or die with the criminals you protect." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. He had met these Zephyrians. They were good people trying to save their families. They weren't criminals. Lisa and Amy came running onto the bridge. "Captain, we need to get out of here," Lisa said. "Those Corvin ships have enough firepower to destroy this entire fleet." "We can't just leave these people," Jake said. Amy looked at the approaching enemy ships on the screen. "Captain, there are 50,000 civilians on these ships. If we stay, we'll all die together." Commander Taylor put her hand on Jake's shoulder. "Captain Morrison, your crew is right. You have already done more than anyone could ask. You saved our people from radiation poisoning. Take your ship and go. At least some good people will survive." Jake looked at his crew. Danny had left the New Horizon and was now on the bridge with them. All 3 of his friends were looking at him, waiting for his decision. "What are our chances if we fight?" Jake asked. Commander Talar shook her head. "The Corvin ships are built for war. Our ships are damaged and carry mostly civilians. Your ship has no real weapons. Against 12 Corvin warships, we have no chance." "So we just give up?" "Sometimes running away is the smart thing to do," Daniel said quietly. Jake thought about his crew, his ship, and his responsibility to keep them safe. Then he thought about the 50,000 Zephyrian families who would die if the Corvins captured them. "Lisa, is there anything special about these Corvin ships? Any weaknesses?" Lisa studied the sensor readings. "They're big and heavily armed, but they're built for fighting other advanced ships. Their weapons and defenses are designed to counter high-tech enemies." "What does that mean?" "It means they might have trouble with simple, unpredictable attacks, just like the Zephyrians had trouble with our basic solutions." Amy looked thoughtful. "The Corvins dismissed us as primitive. They don't think we're a threat." Maybe that's an advantage, Danny said. If they don't expect us to fight, they won't be ready for whatever we do. Jake felt an idea forming in his mind. It was crazy and probably hopeless, but it might be their only chance. Commander Talar, do your people know anything about human military history? Some of our scholars have studied your wars. Why? Because humans have been fighting bigger, stronger enemies for thousands of years. We've learned how to win when we shouldn't be able to. He turned to his crew. I'm not ordering anyone to stay. This is volunteer only. If you want to take our ship and leave, I understand. Lisa stepped forward. I'm staying. These people need help. Me too, Amy said. I didn't become a medic to run away from people who need saving. Danny grinned. If you think I'm going to miss the chance to outfly some arrogant alien pilots, you're crazy. Jake felt proud of his crew. They were scared, but they were willing to fight for what was right. All right then. Commander Talar, I need to know everything about those Corvin ships. What kind of weapons do they have? How do they fight? What do they expect us to do? Commander Taylor called up detailed information about the Corvin fleet. Jake studied the data carefully. The enemy ships were powerful, but they were also predictable. They fought like machines following established patterns and tactics. They'll try to destroy our engines first, Commander Taylor explained. Then they'll disable our weapons. Finally, they'll board our ships and capture the survivors. What if we don't let them follow their plan? Jake asked. I don't understand. Jake pointed to the asteroid field around them. They expect us to fight, like civilized people in open space. What if we fight like pirates instead? Lisa's eyes lit up. Use the asteroids for cover, hit and run attacks, make them chase us through dangerous territory. Exactly. Danny, you know this asteroid field better than anyone. Can you lead enemy ships through the worst parts? Danny studied the navigation charts. There are some areas where big ships would have trouble. Lots of rocks, strange gravity fields, places where sensors don't work well. Perfect. Jake turned to Commander Taylor. Can your damaged ships handle that kind of flying? Our ships are hurt, but they can still move. What are you planning? Jake smiled. We're going to show these Corvins that humans don't fight fair when innocent people are in danger. The Corvin ships were getting closer. Jake could see them more clearly now, 12 dark vessels bristling with weapons. They moved in perfect formation, confident and deadly. All right, everyone, Jake said. Let's teach these bullies what happens when they threaten families trying to find a new home. Amy looked worried. Captain, are you sure about this? We're just a cargo ship crew. That's exactly why this might work, Jake said. They're expecting to fight advanced alien technology. Instead, they're going to get 4 humans who are too stubborn to know when they're beaten. Commander Taylor looked at the human crew with amazement. Your people would really risk everything for strangers? It's what humans do, Jake said simply. We help people who need help. That's who we are. The Corvin ships were 30 minutes away. It was time to see if human courage and cleverness could defeat superior technology in numbers. Jake opened a communication channel to all the Zephyrian ships. This is Captain Morrison. We're going to fight for you. Follow my lead, trust us, and maybe we'll all live to see tomorrow. The Corvin ships arrived exactly on schedule. Jake watched them approach through the main screen on the Zephyrian command ship. The 12 dark vessels moved in perfect formation, their weapons already charging for attack. They're trying to contact us, Amy reported from the communication station. Let them talk, Jake said. The harsh voice of Commander Drac Voss filled the bridge. Your time is up, humans. Move your pathetic cargo ship away from the criminals, or be destroyed with them. Jake picked up the microphone. This is Captain Morrison. We're not going anywhere. Then you will die like the Zephyrian scum you protect. All ships begin attack pattern 7. Destroy their engines first. The Corvin ships spread out and began moving toward the Zephyrian fleet. Their weapon systems glowed with deadly energy. Now, Jake said quietly. Danny, who was now piloting the main Zephyrian ship, suddenly threw the massive vessel into a sharp turn. The ship dove toward the nearest large asteroid, with the other Zephyrian vessels following close behind. The Corvin, Ships were caught off guard. They had expected the refugees to either surrender or try to fight in open space. Instead, the entire fleet disappeared into the dangerous asteroid field. "Follow them," Commander Voss ordered his ships. "They cannot hide from us forever." But Jake was counting on the Corvins not understanding how well humans could fly in dangerous places. Danny had grown up piloting ships through asteroid fields and knew every trick for using the rocks as cover. "There," Danny said, pointing to a cluster of large asteroids ahead. "That's where we make our first stand." The Zephyrian ships slipped between the floating rocks like fish swimming through a coral reef. Behind them, the larger Corvin vessels had to slow down and be more careful. Their perfect formation was breaking apart as they tried to avoid collisions. "Lisa, are those mining charges ready?" Jake asked. "Ready and waiting," Lisa replied. She had spent the last 20 minutes rigging explosive charges from their mining equipment. They weren't real weapons, but they might be enough to surprise the enemy. The first Corvin ship came around a large asteroid, its weapons targeting the lead Zephyrian vessel. The alien captain was so focused on his target that he didn't notice the small cargo containers floating near his ship. Lisa pressed the detonator. The mining charges exploded in a chain reaction, sending chunks of rock and metal flying in all directions. The Corvin ship's shields absorbed most of the damage, but the surprise attack forced them to pull back. "Direct hit," Amy reported. "Their shields are down to 80%. 1 down, 11 to go," Jake said grimly. Commander Voss's angry voice came over the radio. "Cowards, you fight like pirates and thieves." "We fight like people who want to live," Jake replied. Danny was already moving the fleet to their next position. He led the ships through a narrow passage between 2 rotating asteroids. The timing had to be perfect, or they would be crushed. Between the massive rocks, the Zephyrian ships made it through safely, but 2 of the pursuing Corvin vessels scraped their hulls against the asteroids. Their perfect black armor was now scarred and dented. "They're getting angry," Commander Taylor observed. "Angry enemies make mistakes." "That's what we're counting on," Jake said. Amy was monitoring the enemy communications. "They're breaking their formation. Some of their ships are trying to go around the asteroid field to cut us off." "Perfect," Jake said. "Danny, take us toward that cluster of ice asteroids, the ones with the strange gravity fields." Danny grinned. "You want to fly through the graveyard? That's where ships go to die, Captain." "Exactly. But we're not going to die. We're going to use it to our advantage." The graveyard was a region of space where the gravitational forces from several large asteroids created unpredictable currents. Ships that flew through it could be pulled off course without warning. Most pilots avoided the area completely, but Danny had flown through dangerous spaces his entire life. He knew how to read the gravity currents and use them to help his ship move faster while using less fuel. The Zephyrian fleet entered the graveyard with Danny leading the way. Behind them, the Corvin ships followed, their captains confident that their superior technology would protect them. They were wrong. The first Corvin ship to enter the gravity field was immediately pulled off course. The pilot tried to compensate, but he didn't understand how the currents worked. His ship spun out of control and crashed into a large ice asteroid. "1 down," Lisa said with satisfaction. The other Corvin ship slowed down, now more careful, but this gave Jake's forces the advantage he had been looking for. "Amy, release the medical containers," Jake ordered. Amy had prepared a special surprise. She had filled several medical supply containers with common human bacteria and viruses. These germs were harmless to humans and Zephyrians, but they might cause problems for the Corvin life support systems. The containers burst open near the damaged Corvin ships. The microscopic organisms spread through space, carried by solar winds and gravitational currents. Within minutes, Jake could hear emergency alarms on the Corvin communication channels. The alien crews were reporting air quality problems and equipment failures. Several ships had to temporarily withdraw to clean their air systems. "Biological warfare?" Commander Voss sounded outraged. "You use disease as a weapon?" "We use whatever works," Jake replied. "Just like you did when you destroyed the Zephyrian homeworld." The battle was far from over, but Jake's unconventional tactics were working. The Corvin fleet was scattered, damaged, and confused. They had been trained to fight against advanced alien technology, not against humans who fought like space pirates. Danny led the fleet through another series of dangerous maneuvers, using the asteroid field like a three-dimensional maze. Each time the Corvins thought they had cornered the refugees, the ships would disappear behind rocks or use gravity currents to escape. Lisa had prepared more surprises. She had rigged cargo containers to explode like mines, creating debris fields that damaged pursuing ships. She had also modified some of their industrial equipment to jam enemy sensors and communications. Their formation is completely broken now, Amy reported. Half their ships are dealing with system failures and the others are spread out trying to find us. Jake felt a moment of hope. Maybe they actually had a chance of winning this fight. But then Commander Voss made a mistake that gave Jake an even better opportunity. All ships abandon formation, the Corvin leader ordered. Hunt them down individually. Show these primitive humans the price of defying the Corvin Empire. He just gave us exactly what we wanted, Jake said with a smile. What do you mean? Commander Talar asked. He broke up his fleet. Now instead of fighting 12 ships working together, we're fighting 12 ships working alone. And humans are very good at picking off enemies one at a time. Jake's plan entered its final phase. Instead of running and hiding, the human-led fleet began hunting the scattered Corvin ships. Danny used his piloting skills to sneak up on isolated enemy vessels. Lisa's improvised weapons would damage their systems. Amy's biological agents would force them to retreat for decontamination. And Jake coordinated everything, using tactics that no military academy had ever taught. The Zephyrians watched in amazement as their human allies turned the tide of battle. Ships that had seemed invincible just hours before were now limping away with damaged hulls and failing systems. How is this possible? One Zephyrian engineer asked Lisa. Your weapons are so simple, your ship's so small. That's exactly why it works, Lisa explained. Your people and the Corvins both think that more advanced technology is always better. But sometimes the simple solution is the right solution. By the end of the battle, 5 Corvin ships had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining 7 were scattered throughout the asteroid field, their crews struggling to repair their damaged systems. Commander Voss's voice came over the radio one final time. This is not over, humans. The Corvin Empire will remember what you have done here. Good, Jake replied. Make sure you tell them that humans protect innocent people, no matter who threatens them. The Corvin ships began to retreat, their perfect formation now a memory. Jake watched them go and felt exhausted but proud. His small crew had just defeated an Empire's war fleet using nothing but courage, creativity, and determination. Is it over? Amy asked quietly. For now, Jake said, but I think this is just the beginning of something much bigger. 3 days had passed since the battle with the Corvin fleet. The asteroid field was quiet now, with only the gentle hum of the Zephyrian ships as their crews worked to repair the damage from the fight. Jake stood on the observation deck of the main Zephyrian ship, looking out at the stars. His crew was scattered throughout the alien fleet, helping wherever they could. It felt strange to be heroes when just a week ago they had been simple cargo haulers carrying medicine to Jupiter. Commander, Vex Toller approached him quietly. Captain Morrison, my people are ready to continue our journey. Thanks to you, we will live to find a new home. Where will you go? Jake asked. There is a star system beyond human space where we believe we can build new cities. It will take us many months to reach it, but we have time now because of what you did. Jake nodded. I'm glad we could help. Help? Commander Teller laughed softly. Captain, you saved 50,000 lives using rusty metal and mining explosives. Our children will tell stories about the brave humans who defeated the Corvin Empire, with courage and simple tools. The past 3 days had been amazing for Jake and his crew. Working with the Zephyrians had taught them things about space travel and technology that no human had ever known. In return, they had shown the aliens that sometimes the old ways were better than new ones. Lisa had spent most of her time in the engineering sections, learning about alien technology while teaching the Zephyrian engineers about human methods. Your people have been flying through space for thousands of years, one alien engineer had told her. But you know things about survival that we forgot long ago. Amy had worked with the alien doctors to treat the remaining radiation sickness. Her simple human medicines had proven more effective than the complex alien treatments. Our technology became so advanced that we stopped understanding the basic principles, one Zephyrian doctor explained. Your people still remember how to heal with simple tools. Danny had become friends with several Zephyrian pilots. They were amazed by his ability to fly through dangerous areas using only his experience and instincts. We rely too much on our computers, one pilot admitted. You fly with your heart and your eyes. It is a skill we have lost. Now, as the Zephyrian fleet prepared to leave, Jake felt sad to see his new friends go. But he also felt proud of what they had accomplished together. Captain, Amy's voice came over his radio. We're getting a communication from Earth. Admiral Martinez wants to speak with you. Jake made his way back to the bridge. On the main screen, the face of Admiral Sarah Martinez appeared. She was the head of Earth's Space Defense Forces, and she looked very serious. Captain Morrison, we received your report about the alien contact in the battle with the Corvin fleet. Is everything you wrote actually true? Yes, Admiral. Every word. Admiral Martinez was quiet for a long moment. Captain, you and your crew have just made first contact with an alien species, formed a military alliance, and defeated a hostile alien empire. This is the most important event in human history. We were just trying to help people who needed it, Jake said. That's exactly why this is so important. Captain, we're sending a full diplomatic team to meet with the Zephyrians. We want to establish formal relations between our species. Commander Taylor stepped into view of the screen. Admiral Martinez, I am Commander Vex Taylor of the Zephyrian Refugee Fleet. Your people have shown us kindness and courage. We would be honored to be friends with humanity. The honor is ours, Commander. Captain Morrison, you and your crew are being promoted and assigned to the new Alien Relations Division. Congratulations. After the communication ended, Jake's crew gathered on the bridge. They all looked stunned by what had just happened. We're not cargo haulers anymore, Danny said, slowly. No, Jake agreed. I guess we're diplomats now, Lisa laughed. A week ago, my biggest worry was fixing a broken engine. Now I'm apparently an expert on alien technology. Things change fast, Amy said, but I'm glad we helped them. Over the next few hours, ships began arriving from Earth. Scientists, diplomats, and military officers came to meet the Zephyrians and learn about their technology. Jake watched as formal treaties were signed and trade agreements were discussed. But the most important moment came when Commander Taylor gave Jake a small device that looked like a crystal. This is a communication beacon, she explained. It will allow your people to contact us anywhere in the galaxy. But more than that, it is a symbol of the friendship between our species. I don't understand, Jake said. Word of what you did here is already spreading throughout the galaxy, Captain. Other alien species have heard about the humans who saved refugees and defeated an empire. Some of them want to meet you. Amy looked excited. You mean there are more aliens out there who want to be friends? Many species have been watching humanity for years, waiting to see what kind of people you really are. Your actions here have answered that question. You are a species that helps others even when it costs you something. As if to prove her point, Jake's communication system began receiving messages from across the galaxy. Dozens of alien species were requesting meetings with humanity. Some wanted to trade, others wanted to form alliances. A few were asking for help with their own problems. It looks like we're going to be busy, Lisa said, reading the messages. This is just the beginning, Commander Taylor said. The galaxy is a big place full of different species with different problems. Some of them are good people who need help. Others are like the Corvins who want to hurt innocent people. Jake understood what she meant. You're saying humanity has a choice to make. Every species faces this choice eventually. You can become powerful and use that power to help others, or you can become powerful and use it only for yourselves. Jake looked at his crew. What do you think? Are we ready to be the people who help others? We've been doing that our whole lives, Amy said. Now we just get to do it on a bigger scale. I'm in, Danny said. If there are more people out there who need help, we should help them. And I want to learn about all that alien technology, Lisa added. Think of all the problems we could solve. Jake smiled. Then it settled. We'll help anyone who needs it, just like we helped the Zephyrians. Commander Talar looked pleased. I thought you would say that. Captain, I have one more gift for you. She handed him a larger device that hummed with energy. This is a quantum communication system. It will allow you to contact us instantly, no matter how far apart we are. My people have also agreed to share some of our technology with humanity. What kind of technology? Better engines for your ships, improved medical equipment, energy systems that will help your people explore the galaxy more safely. We believe that friends should help each other. As the Zephyrian fleet prepared to depart for their new home, Jake felt like he was watching the beginning of a new age for humanity. His small cargo ship crew had accidentally become the bridge between Earth and the rest of the galaxy. The New Horizon had been upgraded with both human and Zephyrian technology. It was faster, stronger, and better equipped than any ship humans had ever built. More importantly, it carried a crew that understood the value of helping others. Where to next, Captain? Danny asked as they watched the Zephyrian ships disappear into the distance. Jake looked at the list of alien species requesting meetings with humanity. There's a species called the Vortans who say they're being attacked by space pirates. They're asking for help. Sounds like our kind of job, Amy said. All right then, Jake said. Set course for the Vortan system. Let's go show the galaxy what humans can do. As the New Horizon jumped to faster than light speed, Jake thought about how much their lives had changed. They were no longer just cargo haulers. They were ambassadors, explorers, and protectors. They were the proof that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars as a species that helped others. The galaxy was big and full of both wonders and dangers. But Jake knew that as long as humans remembered to help people in need, they would never be alone among the stars. The cargo ship New Horizon drifted through the dark space between stars. Captain Jake Morrison sat in his worn captain's chair, watching the stars through the main window. The ship was old and not very pretty, but it did its job well. Jake had been flying cargo ships for 15 years and he knew every sound his ship made. Behind him, Lisa Park worked at the engineering station. Her hands moved quickly over the controls as she checked the ship's systems. Lisa was young but very smart. With machines, she could fix almost anything that broke on their old ship. In the pilot's seat, Danny Rodriguez hummed a quiet song while he watched their course. Danny was the best pilot Jake had ever worked with. He could fly through asteroid fields like he was dancing. His dark eyes never missed anything dangerous in space. Amy Carter sat at the medical station, reading reports on her tablet. She was their medic and also handled communications. Amy had joined the crew only 6 months ago, but Jake already trusted her completely. She was calm and smart, and she cared about people. The New Horizon was carrying medical supplies to the colonies near Jupiter. It was a normal job, the kind they did every month. The cargo hold was full of medicines, equipment, and other supplies that sick people needed. Jake liked these jobs because they helped people, even if they did not pay very much money. The ship moved slowly through the Kepler belt, a region of space filled with old rocks and ice. Most ships avoided this area because it was dangerous, but Jake knew the safe paths. The belt was also a good place to hide if pirates were looking for cargo, ships to rob. Danny looked up from his controls. Captain, we should reach the colony in about 18 hours if we keep this speed. Good, Jake said. Any problems with the engines, Lisa? Lisa shook her head. Everything looks fine. The old girl is running smooth today. Amy suddenly looked up from her station. I'm getting something strange on the radio. Jake turned his chair to face her. What kind of strange? It's a distress signal, but it's not like anything I've heard before. Amy put her finger to her ear and listened carefully. The signal is very strong and it's coming from multiple sources. Pirates? Danny asked, his hands moving to the weapon controls. I don't think so, Amy said. This signal is broadcasting on frequencies that most human ships don't use. And there's something else. The signal has a pattern that seems almost like language. Jake felt his heart beat faster. In 15 years of flying cargo ships, he had never encountered anything truly unusual. Most of his adventures came from engine problems and bad weather on planets. "Can you clean up the signal?" he asked Amy. Amy worked at her controls for several minutes. Slowly, the strange sounds became clearer. What they heard made everyone on the bridge stop what they were doing. The voice was clearly speaking English, but the accent was unlike anything they had ever heard. The words came out in a strange rhythm, like someone who had learned the language by listening to recordings. "This is Commander Vex Taylor of the Zephyrian Refugee Fleet. We are broadcasting a general distress call to any vessels in this region. Our fleet consists of 12 ships carrying over 50,000 civilians. We have suffered critical system failures and require immediate assistance." Jake looked at his crew. Danny's mouth was open. Lisa had stopped working completely. Amy stared at her radio equipment like it might explode. "Did she say Zephyrian?" Lisa whispered. The voice continued. "We have been monitoring human transmissions for many years and have learned your language. We know this request is unusual, but our people are dying. Our ships are failing, and we do not have much time." Jake stood up from his chair. His legs felt weak. First contact with aliens was something that happened in movies and books, not to cargo ship captains carrying medicine to Jupiter. "Amy, can you respond to them?" Amy nodded, but her hands shook as she reached for the microphone. "What should I say?" "Tell them we received their message and ask for their location." Amy took a deep breath. "Unknown vessel? This is the cargo ship New Horizon. We have received your distress call. Please provide your coordinates and the nature of your emergency." They waited. The silence seemed to last forever. Then the alien voice came back, and now it sounded relieved. "New Horizon, thank you for responding. We are located approximately 50,000 kilometers from your current position. Our quantum drive cores were damaged in an unexpected solar storm 3 days ago. Without these systems, our ships cannot maintain proper shielding against radiation." Danny checked his instruments. "Captain, I'm showing 12 large objects about where she said they would be. They're big, much bigger than any human ships I've seen." "How big?" Jake asked. "The smallest one is twice the size of our ship. The largest one looks like it could hold a small city." Lisa looked at Jake with worried eyes. "Captain, if they really have 50,000 people and their ships are failing, this is a disaster bigger than anything we can handle." Jake knew she was right. The New Horizon was not a rescue ship. They had only 4 crew members and supplies for maybe 20 extra people. How could they help 50,000 aliens? The alien voice spoke again. "New Horizon, our people are already showing signs of radiation sickness. Our medical staff estimates that without proper shielding, we have perhaps 4 days before we begin losing lives. We understand that you are a small vessel, but any assistance would be appreciated." Amy looked at Jake. "Captain, what are we going to do?" Jake thought about the rules and regulations that governed cargo ships. Making contact with alien species was supposed to be handled by the military or special government teams. Regular cargo, captains were supposed to report such contacts and wait for instructions. But waiting for instructions would take days, maybe weeks. These aliens said they would start dying in 4 days. "Danny, how long would it take us to reach them?" "At full speed, about 6 hours. Jake looked at each member of his crew. "I need to know what you all think. We could report this to Earth, and let someone else handle it. That would be the safe thing to do. But these people might be dead by the time help arrives." Lisa spoke first. "I became an engineer to help people. It doesn't matter if they're human or not." Danny nodded. "My family came to Earth as refugees 50 years ago. Someone helped them when they needed it most." Amy was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I'm a medic. I took an oath to help people who are sick and hurt. I don't think that oath only applies to humans." Jake felt proud of his crew. They were good people, the kind who would risk their own safety to help others. "All right then," he said. "Danny, set course for the alien fleet. Maximum speed." Aye, Captain. Jake sat back down and opened a communication channel. Commander Taylor, this is Captain Morrison of the New Horizon. We are coming to help you. We're not a rescue ship and we don't have much equipment, but we'll do whatever we can. The relief in the alien's voice was clear. Captain Morrison, your kindness gives us hope. We will prepare to receive your ship. As the New Horizon changed course and picked up speed, Jake wondered what they were getting themselves into. He had never even seen an alien before, and now he was trying to save 50,000 of them. But looking at his crew working together to help people in need, Jake felt certain they were doing the right thing. Whatever happened next, they would face it together.